Hey everybody, so we're gonna do a very quick video of steps if you need suggestion how to improve as a fencer. For our experience, what we suggest is I mean, just little
Yeah,
steps that we have in mind always and we always discuss with our fencers. So I would say the steps are very similar whether you do well or not. The reason for that is because if you do really well, it doesn't mean that you should stop working behind the scenes in sense of like mindset training, uh, watching videos, right, analyzing your fencing. um, I don't feel like when somebody succeeds they completely have to stop working. I don't feel that's
no,
the
that's correct.
case.
Because I mean, it's if you again, we saw the fencers that did good, and now especially like our fencers, they may do good, but then things may not have started well. So
Yeah,
then there is that adjustment in the tournament that we, as coaches, being there, that we can kind of say, hey, you're going too fast, or hey, slow down. So we see whether that's again a very little adjustment in the tournament, and then after the tournament, obviously you gotta watch and see where you were most effective and
yeah,
where you were kind of, I call it, leaking points. Where is like we had this example where we have a fencer that's coming back and doing the same thing 4 times and then goes back and does on the fifth action
something
the
that
same thing they lost 4 points with. So that doesn't make sense, but sometimes the fencers don't realize this and
yeah,
they need to be able to see it. And as again, as we told our fencers before and the parents, you gotta talk to your talk to your child and see where do they want you to be when you're filming, so they don't feel bothered by it
yeah.
and everything. And because we've seen it, all kind of all kinds of parents where it's too much going on the strip, and you want to make sure again you leave the fencer again to have a clear head, to make sure that their abilities again are ready to perform. But again, fencers again don't process. Sometimes they go on autopilot, and until they see the video,
They don't
it's
realize.
difficult for them to realize what they've done or how they done it. Because I kind of always visualize what I want to see from the action, and then sometimes it's they are able to do it, but then sometimes they completely block this action. So it's really
Yeah.
important for them to make sure that once they see it in the video, they can visualize it and they can do it in practice consistently. So then when the pressure comes, you still are
Hmm.
ready to perform that action.
Yeah.
Also making sure you're in the right again mindset and see on the video if you lost 4 or 5 points in a row or something, should you allow this to happen? And you could have said, hey, I could have stopped after 2 or 3. Maybe it brings some
Yeah.
memory of how I felt. And if I don't feel there at the moment, I may fix something here. So
Yeah.
to kind of break the momentum
And
and
also, I think the fencers are not using the fact that you can ask the referee like to explain the point. They will explain. You can respectfully ask, "Are you looking for my hand? Is my hand faster, slower, feet, whatever?" Because honestly, it's like sometimes the calls are very inconsistent with different referees, and you just have to work with the referee. You're not gonna change the referee. You have to deal with the referee. Whatever they call, you gotta kind of adjust your fencing
yes,
based
and
on that.
knowing again is even in the past, like it's me as a coach, I'm looking at what the referee likes more. Do they like the more intensity? Do
Yeah,
they like the more like the kind of
slower
arm
paced.
preparation,
Yeah.
kind of more of the kind of planned, cleaned action? Because again, some will do more the technical stuff, some will do more the aggressive stuff.
Yeah.
But it's again a style. It's easier to adjust when the referee has a style as well. And
Absolutely.
it's me as a referee. Where I used to referee. Then for me, I kind of know what the habits of the fencers are, so I know that if they did their habit, but they didn't get the blade or they
Mm-hmm.
couldn't do it on time, then I know it's not their point anymore. This is their move, so it's really we gotta make sure that again it's easier again said than done. That's why you need to work every day again in practice instead of wasting time to make sure that hey, I can work on selling the legs for the next 20 points. I can work on selling the preparation. I can work on my body language because all the little things count at the end and shape you
Yeah.
as the fencer. And again, the goal is again to improve yourself or to stay on top longer, because now once you win a medal, you're on everybody's radar. Everybody has a video, so you need to be able to present time to make adjustments, and also what can you do to improve, making sure that, hey, how come I did this for 10 bouts and then after that I forgot how to do it. It's like
Yeah.
you got to work on mentally understanding that you can bring
And
this
the
back up.
tournaments are very long in general, and tiredness comes whether it's a physical or mental. So I think also the other thing that I'm finding like being issue for athletes, for fencers after tournaments, is they listen to too many people what they need to change, and when you focus on so many things you're not changing anything. It takes some time for a certain skill to be kind of muscle memory. You cannot like try different way of starting from the angle line for like one practice or two and telling me it's not going to work. Well, that doesn't work that way. It has consistency. You got to put the work, the effort, the timing, and all those things. And I feel like a lot of people are not patient enough to wait for the, what is it, the trust the
The
process kind of
outcome,
thing.
yeah.
And also, like, if you want to fence like somebody else but your physical abilities is not letting you, let's say you're scoring more attacks when you're more patient, but all of a sudden you're like, I want to be aggressive fencer. If you score the way you score, just do this way. I know you,
Then it's a style, yes.
everybody
So you
likes
can trust your
fancy
style.
and fast and aggressive. It's not for everybody. You gotta kind of trust your body and what your body is able to do, and you gotta work with that. What is the other thing I was thinking? Oh, the rest. You really need a good rest. Like if you're partying with your friends, playing games and stuff like that, and you have a couple hours of sleep before tournament practices, that's not gonna fly. The nutrition, and then the other thing that we talk a lot with our fencers is like they're trying experimenting with some crazy energy drinks on the tournament, but they never do this at practice. So that's the biggest issue, is because your body is
Yeah,
going to
because you can
respond
have a crush, yeah.
completely. They're crashing or they're super hyper. So that was a biggest thing what we suggested to them, just stop drinking those energy drinks. Your body is going to wake up the moment you step your foot into the fencing venue. Trust me, because you're nervous and all those nerves are going to kick in. So you're not going to fall asleep being nervous or stressed out. So just don't do the energy drinks. Electrolytes, or if you want Gatorade, which has a lot of
Staying
sugar, stay
hydrated,
hydrated.
pacing
Yeah,
yourself on the hydration, that helps you.
yeah,
Again, gotta make sure. And again, every now and then your brain just flies away, so you gotta give yourself a moment to bring it back.
yeah.
Don't let it go
And
too far.
what else? I mean, that's pretty much on top of my head what you can improve. And make sure, and the other thing is like training. Even though we say everybody's training, some people train 2 times a week for 1 hour. That is not enough. This is even less than recreational nowadays. Like, I feel a competitive athlete should not train less than 8 hours a week.
Yeah.
I don't think less than 8 hours a week. The lesson doesn't count as practice, by the way. For whoever comes, does lesson, and leaves, that is not a practice. So this is the reality check. This is something that if you want to improve, if you want to get better,
Gotta put in the extra
the
work
extra
so
work
you can
can,
trust
yeah.
yourself.
And you cannot sugarcoat stuff like, oh, but I did this result and I trained less than such and such person. Trust me, it's gonna come after you, and eventually you're gonna fall down.
And
It's,
hard work
yeah,
usually always pays off at the end. So one way
absolutely.
or another, again, whether it's a little mental kind of barrier or something else, at one moment it will click and then everything else will fall into place.
Yeah. And that's what we have on top of our heads. We're going to have more videos coming with certain things that we want to discuss. And I hope you guys find it helpful, because I don't feel a reason for us to be like, oh, it's secret. We're talking to our fencers and we're not sharing. For me, it's like we've always been helping everybody in the best way we can. And I hope, you take all the tips if you find them helpful to improve your fencing. And that's it. Hope you guys have a good day, and we'll see you in our next video.
Bye.